Hi there, welcome back to the blog, the channel, whatever that might be. You can see my background's a little different. I moved and I haven't had a chance to set up the office all pretty, but I am excited to be here with you today. So in this video, we are talking all about how to know if you're binge eating, what binge eating is, how to know if you're, in the eating disorder territory, not in the eating disorder territory. I get a lot of questions about women who are confused at what kind of eater they truly are. So in this video, I'm gonna help break that down and then also show you a, step-by-step way to break free from your struggle with food. All right, so I remember when I first even came across the term binge eating, I was Googling things like I can't stop eating or how to control cravings. Oh, hey, kitty, wanna come on camera? She just jumped next to me. How to control cravings, whatever that might be. And I remember I stumbled across this stuff and it said binge eating disorder in my search. And I was like, eating disorder? This is years ago before even the word binge was used that regularly. And I was just so shocked to even find that this was a thing. And then I was reading off the signs of it and I was like, well, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. And for the first time, it was the first time I ever felt understood by something I read. And the plus side of that is I felt understood. I felt like someone would get me. I felt like I wasn't alone. And then the negative side of that was all the fear. Like, do I have an eating disorder? What's wrong with me? Am I gonna have to go to treatment? Like, I feel like I can't stop. This is really severe. What do I do? And that kind of set me out on my journey to find answers. Another thing I'm really grateful for is the health coaching school I went to. One of them popped up during that search as well. So, found this word binge eating, but also found some solutions that have brought me here today, which is so exciting. So let me backtrack and really break down what binge eating is. So, there's clinical terms to binge eating disorder. I'm less concerned about whether someone has a classified disorder or not. When I think of the word binge, I think of something that feels compulsive. It feels a little out of control. It feels like once you start, something takes over. So if we're talking eating disorder, they'll say it has to be a large quantity of food multiple times per week. I forget what the exact number is. But I don't really care about the quantity as much. It might just be grabbing a snack, grabbing a snack, grabbing a snack, grabbing a snack before you had multiple snacks, kind of like something just took over. It might legit be like a big eating vest, like get a lot of food, sit down and eat it, right? It's gonna look different for everyone. But one of the things I see the most is it has this element of compulsion to it. Having a desire for something like, I want chocolate, or I had quesadillas this weekend. A quesadilla sounds good and I want to order one. Okay, I really want to order one. Like, that's a desire or a craving. But like getting the urge for this quesadilla in your mind aggressively, like you have to have it, and you're fighting this urge, right? And then maybe getting it and eating it fast, or, eating it all without being connected to your body, and then maybe wanting something more. Like, that's when you're getting into binge territory, right? Wanting a quesadilla, ordering it, eating it, and maybe even eating all of it because it was good. Maybe that's a little overeating, but that's not a binge. This ravenous consumption and then maybe wanting more, or having this element of like not feeling full and satiated, that's what I would categorize in a binge. And that's a big signifier too, is you could get quantity full, like physically full, but there's less of that like deep, warm belly, satisfied feeling. So that is something I would really, really, really look out for, right? In the world of binge eating. And so wherever you fall in this category, I just want you to know you're not broken. No matter if you read the, things, the criteria to be a binge eating disorder, it doesn't mean you're going to have an eating disorder and struggle forever. Eating disorder therapy and treatment, all of these things definitely have some beautiful sides, and they save many lives. So in no way am I knocking eating disorder treatment or therapy if you feel like that's something you might need. And what I will say is I feel like most of the mainstream methods for binge eating are a little outdated and an old school way of doing things. And there's this kind of belief that it's a disease that's never gonna go away. And I can tell you from my experience with myself, my team, and thousands of women that we've helped, and I'm not exaggerating, binge eating can go away. For some people, it's deeper related to emotions and trauma and things like that. And for many, many people, whether there's emotions and trauma or not, and we all have some sorts of trauma usually and some sorts of emotions, right? Obviously on the emotional front. I know the trauma thing's a little less obvious. So, a lot of times binge eating is just the body's physiological response to some type of deprivation, either through dieting or maybe thinking like a dieter, or maybe circumstantial restriction like having a busy day and not eating enough and then eating a lot at the end of the night. There's a lot of binge eating that's just a physiological response to deprivation. Then we get the pattern of that repetitive behavior that needs to be broken. Just because there's a physiological response that has created a habit pattern and a consistent way of acting over and over again, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a disease and are going to struggle till the end of time, right? That just means that, hey, somewhere along the way, I started binging, whether it's from dieting, whether it's from my life is crazy and I don't eat enough, whether it's from trauma from childhood, whether it's from emotions out of control and not knowing how to be with yourself and being with them, whatever the culprit is, this reaction, physiological, mental, emotional, whatever, starts happening. And as this reaction happens, your brain gets used to the chemicals from the food, the neurotransmitters that get released, the repetitive pattern. So for example, let's say you drove home from, work or your kid's school or, your parents' house, whatever it might be. You drove home over and over and over again. I'm sure you've had that experience where you've just wound up in your driveway and you're like, how the heck did I get here, right? Well, that's because your brain has made it automatic. And so when you've done something over and over, AKA binge eating, overeating, compulsive eating, whatever you want to call it, that starts to become automatic. And just because that thing is triggered from whatever it might be triggered by, and that starts becoming automatic, that doesn't mean you're a broken human that's going to struggle till the end of time. Just like using our analogy, if you moved houses, you might accidentally want to drive back to your old house a few times, but eventually you're going to get very used to the new way home, and that's going to become your new automatic. And you can create a new automatic for yourself with your relationship with food. So the one thing I want to say is it doesn't have to be difficult, but it's also not easy to do on your own. Like, this is serious shit, for lack of better terms. And you need support, you need guidance, you need a system. As awesome as our YouTube videos are and as many tools as they have, they're not necessarily in order and in that systematic fashion that you need. So if you do feel compulsive with your food, if you do feel out of control with your eating, if you do feel like maybe it's emotional, maybe it's trauma, maybe it's neither, maybe it's habitual, whatever it is, if you feel like there's something inside of you that you can't quite put your finger on that's driving you to eat, I don't care if you call it binge eating disorder, overeating, emotional eating, trauma eating, whatever the hell you want to call it, I don't want you to struggle with it anymore. So if you need help and guidance, we are here for you. We have an opportunity. We always provide free trainings, but right now, and I don't know when you're watching this, so this opportunity might be closed, but right now, myself and our coaching director have our calendar open for you to book a call and get additional support. And if you're in our challenge, this call would be more like a next step after your challenge to determine what you need to find freedom. If you're not in our challenge and you're seeing this in public, it's very likely that we don't have any spots open, but we could. So make sure you click this link below the video and sign up for this call. This call is going to give you clarity, uncover why you're struggling, give you a personalized plan to stop, and determine what are the next best steps for you. Is that to work with us, or is it to go do something else that's gonna set you on the path that's gonna set you up for the most success? So just a reminder, you don't have to do this stuff alone. We're here for you. I'm sending you so much love, and no matter what article you read or what thing you ever uncover, no more feeling broken. No more feeling like you're diseased and disordered till the end of time. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, you have everything you need inside of you to get to the other side of this. You just might need a little help in doing so. And if you want our help, we're here for you. And if you don't want our help, that's cool. But get someone in your corner to help guide you through this, because you don't have to go through this alone. I believe in you. I'm sending you a ton of love, and I will see you in the next video. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. I release videos every Tuesday. If you're watching this on our blog, leave a comment, or you can leave a comment on YouTube. Videos release every Tuesday, and I love hearing what you think about it. And then don't forget to click that link below the video if you want more personalized support. All right, See you in the next video.